Hello and welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandi Cantrell, Youth Services Director at the B.B. Comer Memorial Library here in Sylacauga. I'm very excited to be here today to bring you this program, and before I get started I want to thank the people at TV47 and Robert especially for all they do to help us make these programs possible. Today I'm excited to have a friend of mine on, Amber Marable. Let me say that right. Amber Marable is here. We go to church together, work with children together, and Amber recently taught a boundaries class, self-defense for ladies.
That's right.
It was excellent. So I want us to talk
Thank
about
you.
that. But before, Amber, tell us about yourself, and thank you for being here. Appreciate you coming.
Well, my name is Amber Marable. I've lived in Sylacauga for a couple of years now. I have a wonderful family, and you know, I grew up with my dad being a martial arts instructor. He had his own dojang or martial arts studio. And from the time I was 8 all the way through up into college, my first year of college, I actually learned from him and earned my second-degree black belt.
Wow.
And I actually taught, was a certified instructor at his school and with our organization. Wow. And really enjoyed that, and I've been wanting to teach a class like this for a long time. Good. And the time seemed right. I talked to the wonderful leadership at First Baptist Church of Sylacauga, and they were all for it, and I was excited to get it going.
Good. Now, you said you were in school, you went to college at
Auburn University,
How'd
War
you say
Eagle.
That? War Eagle, yeah, me too. Good. So this is not what you've done for a job, though. You were in 4-H, is that right?
I was a 4-H agent, and recently I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I do work a number of part-time jobs, including at the nursery at our church, and where we're members, and really enjoy that as well. But still have that love for martial arts that I've always had. Self-defense is a near and dear topic to my heart.
Right. Well, I tell you, I have 2 daughters in their early 20s, so and then myself, it is near and dear to my heart too. Self-defense is. Amber taught the class at our church, and the class is called Boundaries, and let's show the picture there. Boundaries do not cross, I believe, is the logo there that
That's
you
right.
used.
That's right.
There it is. Tell me how you came up with the name there, Boundaries.
Well, boundary is a line that defines the limits of an area, and it's basically this line that you do not cross. It's something that says this far and no farther. And I think that every person, whether they're man or woman, boy or girl, needs to have a line that they say this far and no farther. No one can go beyond those boundaries. So this class is all about learning to help set healthy limits on what you will allow other people to do in your life and to your person, and how to enforce that if you have to.
Great. Well, we'll just tell the class starts September
the 11th. It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday night, and it is for ladies, right?
That's right. This is specifically for ladies. You know, lots of men could benefit from a self-defense course too, but I think we'll be a little bit more comfortable if ladies practice with ladies this time.
Right. Except for the last class when the men join us, and that was fun.
The last night the men joined to help out a little bit.
Right.
And that's a lot of fun too. It's for ages 13 and up.
Right.
So we'll be talking about some things that may be a little uncomfortable and unsuitable for young ladies. So 13 and up is the age range that we're looking for, but you can participate all the way up until you're 99 is fine with me. I would love to have you. So please come.
And it's 6:30 to 8:30.
6:30 to 8:30 in the gym at the First Baptist Church of Sylacauga.
Is it five Tuesdays?
It's 5 Tuesdays in a row, so it'll be 5 weeks, and you need to plan to be there for each one if you at all possibly can help it. They build on each other. We practice different things, so you really need to try and be there for each of them. But
all right. And the cost is
it's $50 per person, but if there's more than one person in a family that wants to take it, the cost is less for the second person, so it's just half. So
that is money well spent. I took the class, the first one you taught, and just that's really what made me want to have you on TV. Is I just enjoyed the class and learned so much, and practiced at home without, love it. Told people about it. It's a wonderful class. That was really good.
I appreciate that.
Just call First Baptist Church if you want to sign up. That'd be
right.
Great.
And the registration packets are in the CLC lobby.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the purpose of the class, and sad to say, in this day and time, this class is needed because of just the things that go on in our world, and it's so much better if women and men too, but in this case, women are prepared for things that come along.
I agree.
And I know we talked about this a little bit. Some of the things, I mean, it's not all about learning karate or whatever, you know,
Right.
it's not, we did learn a few things, but I have a bad back, so some things I didn't want to do, but I watched. We had some younger girls in the class. I enjoyed watching them do what they were doing. But it was a lot about just information and an attitude or making decisions ahead of time.
That's right.
That's what I thought was great.
The most important takeaway you can have is the decision that you're worth defending and having that decision made ahead of time. You don't want to, the last thing you want to happen is get into a position where you have to defend yourself and then you're trying to decide, well, should I or should I not? Is this morally acceptable?
Right.
You know, you need to know ahead of time where your boundary is and what you will allow and what you will do if it is crossed.
Great, great. Just to decide that ahead of time and know that you're
worth
kind
it.
of what you're going to, yes, you're
Yeah.
worth it.
You're
definitely.
worth protecting. You're worth
Yeah.
defending. And this is not just for you. This is also for your family
Yes.
because they care about you too. And at some point you might have to defend one of your children. Who knows? So
That's true.
It's very important.
Scary to think about,
Yeah.
but it does happen. I'll tell you what, we're going to pause for a commercial break before we get started into the class. So I hope you'll join us when we come back.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
As a fitness instructor and former collegiate athlete, I know the importance of eating healthy and staying fit. Hi, I'm Isaac Jennings. Did you know that free after-school meals are available throughout Talladega County for children of the ages of 18 years and under? Please contact Safe Family Services Center if you would like to know more information. And remember, every meal matters, and it all starts with you. Get healthy, Talladega County.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Hello and welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Amber again, and we're talking about the self-defense class you teach at First Baptist called Boundaries. And I wanted to we talked about some books and things. When I was talking to Amber about possibly doing this interview on TV, I said, are there any books? I know we have a realistic self-defense for parents, children, and teens, and this was an excellent book. This talks about a lot of the pictures in here were exactly the things that you taught us. So I was looking through that. And I said, Amber, what are some books, you know, not really knowing what you might say, what kind of books would you suggest? You said, oh, The Art of War. And I thought, oh my goodness. And somebody who was standing with us said, that's a great book. Tell me about this book.
Well, The Art of War is a classic, really, in self-defense literature. It's highly recommended. The man who wrote it was an absolute master of understanding strategy and understanding how to understand your opponent and how to combat them in lots of different areas in life, not necessarily just in self-defense, but certainly that's probably the most applicable point. But I recommend it to anybody.
Great. I've started to read some of it, and it was great. It's not, like you said, it's not just about war or fighting, it's about business and not that that's a war, but just understanding the people, your opponents, so to speak, people you're working with. So anyway, come check this out at the library. All right, what I did is I took the handouts that you gave us at the class and thought we would just go through those. One of the things you talked about is finding your voice.
Finding your voice. So if you're like me, sometimes it's a little difficult to stand up for yourself, and you know, you don't want to get in a situation where you're being attacked and you just kind of close up and you can't even say anything. So we practice how to get attention and how to let somebody know that you're not a victim with your voice very loudly.
And sometimes you've got down here, it surprises the attacker, and maybe that's all it'll take.
That's right.
That's what you hope.
That's right.
You hope that's all it'll take. One of the things I wanted that I marked on here to talk about, and this is a little bit different from what we were just talking about your voice, the ponytail grab.
Oh, yes.
Because you're talking about when girls go jogging, you know, if you have long hair, everybody wears a ponytail because it's up out of the way. But that's one of the main things they want to grab. Is that right?
That's right. Someone who is a criminal predator, someone who's looking for other people to do horrible things
Yes.
to, commit crimes against. They frequently do what's called an interview process. So they look at somebody and they try to decide if that person would be a good victim or not. And they're trying to get away with this. They don't want anyone to know that they're doing it. And so they look for someone who they think will be easily overwhelmed. They look for somebody who's kind of small in stature, usually. They look for someone who looks like they might be inexperienced or distracted, not paying attention. Usually somebody who is alone. So those are some of the things that they're looking for. And a lot of times they look for accessibility, you know, what's easy to grab. Ponytails are incredibly easy to grab. So, most of us, I know I do frequently, wear a ponytail because it's convenient, but it's also convenient for an attacker too. So keep that in mind. You know, they look for revealing clothing a lot of times, or clothing that would be easy to remove. And certain activities, like you mentioned, jogging, those are incredibly dangerous things to do for a young lady alone. So it's wonderful exercise, but it also puts you at great risk because, you know, you usually travel along a path that's very predictable at certain times of the day. You're usually alone. A lot of young ladies like to put in their earbuds, or, you know, or they have like a hoodie pulled up over their head, and those things really restrict your ability to pay attention and see what's going on around you. So I would highly suggest that you do not go jogging alone.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And I know we're talking about somebody jogging makes me think of fight or flight. I mean, that's
right.
kind of, I've heard that term a lot.
Yes.
So you just decide what you're going to do.
So if you are approached by an attacker, there's always this choice: am I going to fight, or am I going to try to get away? And I think that should be based on a number of things. First of all, you know, are you an athletic person? If you do go jogging regularly and you're very good at running, perhaps you can run away from somebody, and that's great.
But the rest of us.
The rest of us. I'm not built for jogging. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm not built for jogging, so that's not where I would choose to place my trust. And a lot of people think about it like just waiting for help. You know, they're just trying to survive. They'll just try to get through it. You know, do whatever they have to do to get through it. You know, follow whatever instructions they're given. But waiting for help doesn't always work, because help doesn't always know that you need help. They don't always. Other people don't always understand that you're in danger. Sometimes they are just shocked. Even if somebody does see what's going on, they're in shock. They don't really know what to do, or they're not in a position where they can if they have small children. So it takes a while for police to get there. So I know our defenders would really appreciate the opportunity to help us, but they can't always get there in time. So
let's see. Now looking at what does your attacker want? Is they trying to rob you, to kidnap you, to harm you?
That's right.
Just looking at that,
it's going to be a hard decision, because you can't always make assumptions. Someone who is willing to commit one kind of crime frequently will go beyond that and commit another one if there's the opportunity. They've already kind of crossed a line in their mind, and it's easy to keep going from there on out. But you can make some decisions. For instance, if somebody wants the keys to your car, I suggest you give it to them.
Yes.
Over there. Throw it away. Give it to them. You can be startled and toss your keys up under somebody else's vehicle by, accident.
Yeah.
And
those are,
get away.
That's not a small thing, I guess, but that's something I would never have thought about. You know, if somebody approaches me for my keys, they can have them and take them and, like you said, be surprised and toss them over there, and then I'm going to run that way.
That's right. That's right.
And under the car. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
A purse, a wallet, to me too, they can have that.
They can have that. It's not worth your life, and it's not really worth theirs either.
Right.
So they can have those things, but if someone is asking for you to follow a specific set of instructions, then that's probably a good indicator that you need to be more resistant.
Right, and just having made that decision before that I'm worth fighting for, and I'm going to do what I need to do.
That's right. Whatever you have to do to get out of that situation and defend yourself.
All right. One thing we talked about in the class too is knowing where you live or knowing your area. I know you said when you move somewhere new, or tell me what are the safer parts of town, or maybe the not so safe parts of town. I don't want to go here after dark.
That's right. That's right. So there are places that you need to probably avoid. There are times of the day that you need to avoid. Some neighborhoods might be a little bit higher crime rate or a lot of gang activity. Make sure you know that, and ask a local. If you don't know yourself, go around and ask somebody who does know. I know Mandy has given me many good tips for this area,
Just a few
which I
cool
appreciate.
things.
And night is always a little bit more dangerous. Being alone is always a little bit more dangerous. You're an easier victim if you are an easier target, certainly, if you are alone. The activity, the level of risk depends on what you're doing. If you are going, around to different bars and things, there's inherent risk in those activities.
Right.
And then also, things just like jogging, for instance, they're just risky because you're usually by yourself. So, and then the light level is important, and the activity level of other people. If someone's not wanting to be seen, they'll usually pick darkness, and they will usually pick a time when there are less people out in general.
That's true. But that was something so simple. Just ask. Ask
Yes,
people
ask.
and observe yourself. And talking about observing, look where you are. I know during our class we went for a walk. And you taught me a lot of different things about, don't walk right next to the building, maybe walk, and I use that. You'd be proud. I do use that today.
I am proud of you.
Because people can hide in all kinds of places.
That's right.
These are places I've walked, I've lived here all my life. I've walked here all the time. Nothing's ever happened, but that doesn't mean that it won't next time.
That's
so
right.
be careful and be on high alert.
That's right. There are different levels of alertness, and we think of those kind of like traffic lights. You have green, yellow, and red. And green is basically when you're in your house with the doors locked and you're asleep. And that's the level of comfort you're at. Yellow is where you're cautious, just like with the traffic light. You're showing lots of caution, and I think that's where most people would do well to live.
Right,
Just being cautious at all times, not being afraid of everything, but certainly just paying attention and making sure that you're aware of your surroundings and what's going on around you. And so I recommend that people try to live at yellow.
Yes, that's a good idea. And it's hard when if you've got children with you, or groceries and packages and things, and I've been to Walmart 100 times, or been wherever, other grocery stores, or any places, even if I go at night, just being careful.
That's right.
What you're doing.
That's right.
Yeah, being alert. Well, we're going to pause for another commercial break, and we'll come right back to talk some more with Amber.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
As a fitness instructor and former collegiate athlete, I know the importance of eating healthy and staying fit. Hi, I'm Isaac Jennings. Did you know that free after-school meals are available throughout Talladega County for children of the ages of 18 years and under? Please contact Safe Family Services Center if you would like to know more information. And remember, every meal matters, and it all starts with you. Get healthy, Talladega County.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Hello and welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Amber Marable, who's teaching a boundaries class at First Baptist Church. Tell them exactly what you're going to be doing in class.
Oh, I'm very excited about this. We'll be talking a lot about awareness. Not everything we do will be physical. A lot of it will just be kind of mental exercises to get yourself prepared to kind of watch out and just know where you're at and what's going on. We're going to be practicing using our voices. We'll be creating some space. So these are things you can do kind of subtly if you're uncomfortable. Things that no one would necessarily even notice. That can help you out a little bit. We're going to talk about how to get in a defensive position and specifically how to get out of a number of very common holds and grabs, including that ponytail grab we talked about a minute ago. So how to get out of those things, including like bear hugs and if somebody grabs your wrist or your arm or your shoulder or your shirt lapel or a choke even, what you might do to get out of that quickly and easily. And also we'll talk about some special situations, such as what if an attacker is armed, or you get in a rape situation or an attempted rape situation. So we'll be talking about those things. And each class will have about 30 minutes of discussion, followed by about an hour and a half of practice, where we actually try these things. So we'll be learning some basic strikes and blocks, and just practicing those things and getting comfortable and familiar with them.
It was great, I have to tell you. I went in there and thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I'm not in my 20s, again. But I was able to do the things, that I could. So I felt like I learned a lot. And so age doesn't matter. I know we talked about this.
Not at all. No, age does not matter. Please come. Even if you have some sort of a chronic illness that you're concerned about, please come and participate in what you can.
Right.
So we would love for you to just come and try. And certainly you can practice other things if there are parts that you're uncomfortable with.
You had all the equipment, the
That's
glasses,
right.
and the
Yes.
what do you call it? The pads?
Targets.
Targets.
Yes,
Okay,
the foam targets.
But it was great. I must tell you, I think every college girl, every high school girl should take
thank
this
you.
class, because it's wonderful. It's just so much to learn, and a lot of it, like we talked, is just a mindset of
It really
of
is.
knowing. And I have to tell the story. I've told this story several times. One thing that you told us in class about a girl who was thrown into the trunk of a car, because if you get into the car with someone,
Your chance of survival drops dramatically, like 50%. It's big.
And so many times we think, well, they threatened me with a knife, we're going to have to do it. Well, no.
No, no, you don't.
No, and that's what I hope. That's one of the main things I've learned is this girl was thrown into the trunk of a car, and every time they tried to slam the trunk, she stuck out a hand, a leg, a foot. Now, she probably had some broken fingers and
Certainly.
and things, but what they took her out.
That's right. She was too much trouble. She caused too much of a fuss and was gathering too much attention, taking too long, and it was a matter of convenience for them. And for most criminals, it is. They don't want to get caught,
Right.
and so eventually they left her alone. So
And that's the goal. I mean,
right.
I would, I don't care if my hands and feet are broken. I want to be alive.
That's right.
I do care, but I have
But
survived
you'd rather be alive.
that. And that's just having that mindset and and the knowledge of what I can do to save myself. So,
whatever it takes. That's
wow.
right.
Because your attacker is not always, a man dressed in black with a hood or anything like that.
No, it isn't.
So,
In fact, most frequently, it's somebody that you already know, which is kind of sad that it would be somebody you're acquainted with, because they've developed that level of comfort. It's not always that serial killer that you need to be worried about, although certainly those exist.
Yes,
It's frequently that person that maybe you're going on a date with, but you don't really know that well. So you need to be kind of aware in all situations. Don't let that level of yellow drop.
Yes, yes. And I like in the class you do talk about date safety and things like that.
That's right,
which,
we do.
I don't
And
date.
social media safety as well.
Oh yes, social media safety. They can find out where you are and what your routine is.
That's right.
Things like
They
that.
sure can, and some people do, which is terribly scary sometimes.
Yeah.
But
And I like you even talked about like if you're at an outdoor event or something and you're standing there by yourself, your family has gone to the restroom or something, and looking, people are looking for you if you're alone. I mean, they're looking
That's
for
right.
someone alone, and kind of how to look for someone.
That's right.
You don't want to accuse everybody, but you need to be on yellow.
That's right.
And aware. Because what is a person? I know they're going to look for someone alone, someone young.
that's right. Usually someone who has a small build. So if you're shorter ladies, that's usually an indicator. If you're not paying attention, if you're distracted and on your phone, like a lot of us do sometimes,
Oh, yes.
or listening to music and you can't hear real well, they're looking for things like that. Sometimes they're attracted by revealing clothing, but more important than the revealing is just that it's easy to remove. And so they look for that. They look for, if your arms are full. A lot of ladies get attacked when their arms are full of groceries, for instance, and putting them in the vehicle. Or if you sit down in your car and you're working on your checkbook or your list of things, going over your list, you're checking things off, items off your grocery list, whatever. Those are good opportunities, and not just for sexual assault, but also for robbery.
Yes.
It's a very good way to indicate that you're not paying attention.
Right, just I'm not aware of what's going on. And we learned with our keys, unlock, open the door, close it, lock it, key, and crank up in about
That's
3
right.
seconds. It was
Always
great.
have it already cranked and your foot on the brake. If you're going to sit there a moment, which I don't recommend you do, but if you were
Right.
going to, doors need to be locked, your seatbelt's on, your foot's on that brake and you're cranked up and ready to go if you need to.
One thing I like too that we talked about is being confident, I guess. Maybe that's
right.
part of the mindset. But if someone follows me and I'm, like this, then I look like a target.
Absolutely.
But,
Well, it's just like with animals, prey acts a certain way, and you don't want to act like that. You don't want to run or dart. Walk with confidence in your step, not overconfident, but confidence in your step. And, if you think someone is following you, you can always ask what they're doing.
That's, I would probably have been too embarrassed to turn around and say, "What do you want?" But that might make them, okay, oh, never mind, I'm leaving her alone.
That's right. And somebody who's not doing anything might be a little embarrassed, and you might be a little embarrassed too, but it's better to be a little embarrassed than to be in a bad situation.
Right, right.
And so certainly that can just discourage somebody who might have been thinking you would be a good target. Yeah.
Right. Anybody who is really not up to, they're not up to no good. I don't know how to say that. They're just walking with you. They're going to be okay if you say something because you're protecting yourself.
Yes. And I think it's important too to trust your instincts. We've talked a little bit about this. We live our whole lives trying to tell ourselves, "Oh, we're really safe," and in most situations that's the case. But I think God gives us those instincts for a reason.
Yes.
And so if you start feeling that little tingling on the back of your neck and you start feeling very creeped out, something's going on, or you get a bad feeling about somebody, and I'm not talking about judging someone, I'm talking about, there's a time in which you just know a way they look at you, that you just kind of, you see it, you know it. Pay attention to those. Don't try to talk yourself out of it. If somebody is giving you a bad vibe, or if an area is, place, a time. A lot of ladies who are attacked and survive tell us that that they did feel something and they just ignored it because they told themselves it was okay. You're getting out of your house, leaving your house, or you're maybe getting out of your car and going to your house, and you just get the creeps. Go back, call a friend, have them go in the house with you. Don't do it alone. Right. So pay attention to those, really do.
I'd rather call a friend and feel silly because nothing was wrong than to have something happen.
Absolutely.
So.
Or go back in the store, have someone walk out with you. That's not a problem.
A lot of stores have guards, security guards, especially in the evenings, and I like to go out to my car when the security guard is out there. That's great. But it's all about just being aware and looking out, not being distracted. I think that's great.
And thankfully, we live in a country that values your life as a citizen. We have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And also, we live in a state that values our ability to defend ourselves if you're placed in that position. So I do recommend that everyone look up what your laws actually are so that you know your rights.
Right, right. That's true. We live in a wonderful country. I'm
do.
grateful for that.
Me too.
Well, we have less than a minute left. I'll tell you one more time. The class is Boundaries at First Baptist Church. It begins September 11th. Please call the church 256-245-6301, I believe is the number to sign up for the class. It's $50. It's for girls 13 and up. Now, the younger girls, do their parents
need to be there. Not only do they have to sign, mom or dad, guardian will need to be there for each class because we do go over some pretty uncomfortable material. So I want to make sure that we have a parent there to kind of discuss it with the young lady afterward if she needs to talk about it. Or to talk with me if they have questions about what we've talked about. So.
Well, Amber, you were an excellent instructor. Your years of 4-H, certainly you know how to teach, and your years of martial arts were wonderful. So thank you for joining me on Library Connection.
I really appreciate the opportunity.
Right. Hope to see you at the library.